all guests to please take your seats so we begin the program on time. And please ensure your mobile devices are set to silent mode for the duration of the program. We also ask that all guests remain seated during the judging presentations and also the crowning ceremony. Flash photography is not permitted during contest presentations, and beginner service will pause during the live broadcast and formal segments. Wait staff will resume service during entertainment breaks. Navanu, we'll see you soon.
Sofitel Resort and Spa, Nandi, Fiji. Tonight, we celebrate unity, culture, and purpose. 2 nights, 7 contestants, 1 crown, 1 Pacific, 1 voice. This is the Miss Pacific Islands Pageant 2026. Please welcome your hosts, Amalia Risby and Masada Vukandabu.
Ladies and gentlemen, isang bumagnakan, talofalava, maloy lele, kiorana, and the warmest Pacific greetings to you all, wherever you may be watching from. Now, whether you're watching via FBC's TV2, VT Plus, or our broadcast going to the islands around the Pacific through Pacifica TV, tonight is the night we've all been waiting for. Welcome to the grand finale of the Miss Pacific Islands Pageant 2026, the traditionally inspired attire judging and the crowning ceremony.
Now tonight we celebrate the very best of the Pacific. Our culture, our stories, our strength, and of course our shared future. We carry with us the theme that's guided this entire pageant: One Pacific, One Voice, standing together for online safety. A theme that speaks not only to this moment, but to the enduring mission of this pageant, to celebrate Pacific women as leaders, advocates, and navigators of a region that is ever evolving.
Tonight, 7 extraordinary women will take to the stage for the final time as contestants, representing the very best of their nations. Before the night is through, one of them will be crowned Miss Pacific Island 2026. May I now take this opportunity to foremost acknowledge the distinguished guests joining us this evening. Traditional leaders, the Hono Nandi, Warelevi Nabutulevu, Namomo Natui Nandi, and all the elders present. Our chief guest, the Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji, Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, the Honorable William Ngaboka, Honorable Fata Ryan Schuster, Minister for the Samoan Tourism Authority, Honorable Maliu Nalumisa, Minister for Housing and Local Government Fiji, and Miss Pacific Islands 2026, Litara Irimia Allen.
We'd also like to acknowledge our 7 beautiful Miss Pacific Island Pageant 2026 contestants, members of our distinguished judging panel, the CEO of Samoa Tourism Authority and MPIP Secretariat, Numata Kikiona Hongi, the Miss Fiji Pageant Director and Miss Pacific Island Pageant Board Member, Anatui Kite, members of the Miss Pacific Islands Pageant Board, chaperones and country representatives, our various sponsors and stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, friends, and of course our guests here in the ballroom, and all of you watching from across the Pacific, welcome.
custom, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to garland our chief guest as a symbol of appreciation for their presence here tonight. Thank you very much for the round of applause, and thank you for your presence here, sir. Sincerely appreciated. Naka.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to invite the Miss Pacific Pageant Director and the Miss Pacific Island Pageant Board Member to deliver the welcoming remarks for this evening. Please join us in warmly welcoming Miss Ana Tuikete.
Buenavinaka, everybody. How are we this evening? And you're looking all gorgeous, beautiful, and handsome from where we're standing up here. And it's such a privilege not only to welcome everybody to Fiji, but to also share the Fijian hospitality with you. I just wanted to share just a lesson from the famous Nelson Mandela before we just wanted to thank a few people. He says, "But I've discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious visit that surrounds me, to look back on the distance that I've come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended." And as we just take a moment in this season, and as we crown our new Miss Pacific Islands Queen, we just take a moment not only to rest and linger, but to also just thank God. You know, today we are filled with gratitude, and what an honor to crown our new Miss Pacific Islands with a full house. Those of you that didn't know, we had to start announcing that we could not sell any more tickets this morning, and we had to turn some people away at the door because this is just such a prestigious event to attend. In February 2025, I flew to Honiara in the Solomon Islands to present Fiji's bid to allow Fiji's not only re-entrance, but to host this year's Miss Pacific Islands. And for us, it's the only pageant that upholds cultural pride as a Pacifica woman. I'm so grateful, and we are grateful to the MPIP board for saying yes to Fiji. And we're also grateful that they did say yes to our committee's plan. And I'm so grateful that today, our chairman, Samoa's Minister for the Samoa Tourism Authority, Honorable Fatarain Schuster, your beautiful wife and your team for being here to support. If we could just give a round of applause for them. To us in Fiji, the biggest support is to have the chairman and the minister attend this event, and for that, sir, we are very grateful. I also would like to honor Honorable Matthew Katamotu Nalumisa and the government of Fiji. Now, thank you, sir, for being a leader and being a leader of your word. You stood and you had faith in our team, and we are grateful that you did have faith in our work. If we can just give a round of applause. You know, last but not the least, there's no I in team. And the program that you've witnessed this whole week is not possible without volunteers. My team is made up of at least 20 volunteers. And these volunteers you see that are working in the backstage, that are helping coordinate the contestants, the judges, logistics, the secretariat. And can we just give a round of applause to these volunteers? I also like to thank the volunteers that have helped our committee here in Fiji to help Team Fiji. Thank you so much, not only for your vision, not only for your support, but your boundless love that you keep pouring it into the work that you do. Vinaka Team Fiji. Before I sit down, I just wanted to acknowledge God, who has not only been our foundation and our secret place, but He's been the source of inspiration, not only for the volunteers, but for our country in hosting. And without Him, we would not have the spirit not only to celebrate, but the strength to go from, the power to go from strength to strength. We hope that you enjoyed tonight's show. We hope that you cheer on the queens, as powerful as they are, and we hope, like in true Fiji spirit, that you will always smile and cheer each other on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please another big round of applause for Ms. Anaturi Kiteri. Now, an event of this magnitude wouldn't have been possible without the generous contributions of our sponsors, and we'd like to acknowledge them tonight. We'd like to acknowledge our partners, the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, the Miss Fiji pageant, the Miss Pacific Islands pageant, and the Online Safety Commission.
And not forgetting as well the Tanloa International and Tanloa Hotels, official broadcasters, FBC TV, official radio partners, FBC, Bula FM, Today FM, Radio Mirchi, Gold FM, Radio Fiji 1 and Radio Fiji 2, Events Plus, staging screens, and AV and lighting.
We'd also like to acknowledge the Fiji Times, Pacifica TV, Hubert Angel Foundation and Compassion Community Care, RICO, and our official photographers in studio.
Go Advertising, the Fiji Arts Council, Epic Transport and Tours, Max Marketing and Publishing Limited, and Fiji Airways.
Fiji Airports Limited and their brand ambassador, Miss Nandi, the Sofitel Fiji Resort and Spa, Wailoa Beach Resort, and the Radisson Blue Resort Fiji.
In addition to that, we have Jackson Fiji, Corner Cafe, Cantina, Bonefish Seafood Restaurant, and Prima Navia.
We'd also like to acknowledge Lulu's Bar, Carter's Restaurant, and VT Wine Exports. Ladies and gentlemen, please give all of our sponsors a very big round of applause.
Not wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor to invite our chief guest for this evening. As the Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Fiji and also the Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, the Honorable Viliami Ngahoka has been a champion for the people of Fiji and a steadfast advocate for the regional cooperation, the cultural preservation, and the empowerment of Pacific communities. His presence tonight affirms the government of Fiji's continued support for this important regional platform. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me in warmly welcoming the Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji, the Honorable William Ngaboka, to deliver his address.
Thank you. The Minister for Commerce, Industry, Labour and Tourism of Samoa, the Honourable Faita Ryan Suster and Mrs. Suster, the Minister for Local Governments and Housing of Fiji, Honourable Mariona Lumesa, the Board of Directors of the Miss Pacific Islands Pageant, Ms. Anaturi Kiteri, and the Organizing Committee, panel of judges, rating Miss Pacific Islands, Ms. Litiara Jeremiah Allen, our beautiful young ladies vying for the crown, traditional leaders, sponsors and stakeholders, families and friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Bula and Oceania dreams, or as we say in this special part of Fiji, Lola Viha. Before I proceed further, I would like to honor and pay my respects to the traditional custodians of this land, We also extend our deepest gratitude to the people of the various lands that so warmly hosted our contestants during the week-long journey. Abono Nanji, Urle Benawachulewu, Akodale Wachkandiri, Nabiamana Chinadi. Abono Nawaka, Urle Benalangi, Nakodale Bubuhe, Nabiamana Chinawaka. Abono Betorau, Urle Bernabula, Akodale Wachururi, Nabiamana Chiabeto. We acknowledge their leaders, past, present, and emerging. We also acknowledge their stewardship over the lands as customary owners and recognize their deep connection to the land, sea, and culture. We offer our blessings upon the Manoa, and may your wisdom and guidance continue to inspire and enrich our lives on our level. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's Miss Pacific Islands pageant stands as a respected regional platform that highlights Pacific culture, leadership, and meaningful dialogue across our island nations. To our 7 contestants from American Samoa, Cook Islands, Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea, Samoa and Tonga, thank you. Thank you for your courage, your grace, and your commitment to advocating for a safer Pacific online community. Each of you has brought your nation's story, culture, and aspirations to this stage with dignity and pride. This year's theme, One Pacific, One Voice, Standing Together for Online Safety, could not be timelier. As our region embraces digital connectivity and now faces the rapid rise of artificial intelligence, we must ensure that our women, youth, and vulnerable groups are protected from online harm. I urge each of you to continue this vital advocacy beyond this week, championing the digital safety policies and partnerships that strengthen protection across our island nations. This pageant is not simply a showcase of talents and presentation. It is a regional institution that reflects the values, priorities, and aspirations of Pacific societies. Over the years, it has evolved into a forum where young Pacific women demonstrate intellectual capability, cultural knowledge, and a strong commitment to community service. This contestant here represents not only the country, but also the collective identity of the Pacific region, diverse in culture, yet united in shared heritage and common purpose. I never knew pageantry could be so demanding and ruthless. Behind the glamour are tight schedules, intense preparation, internal competition, and public scrutiny. The resilience required is immense. Yet, we trust that all your effort and discipline will be worthwhile, culminating in a celebration of talents, leadership, and Pacific spirit. This year's events align with the Blue Pacific vision, grounded in cooperation, stewardship, and stability. It reminds us that our ocean is a shared resource and responsibility. These young women reflect this vision, showing that leadership in the Pacific is defined in service, character, and commitment to community. Our contestants represent a generation ready to tackle Pacific challenges: climate change, ocean conservation, cultural preservation, digital safety, and youth empowerment. In October this year, we gathered at Vavau in Tonga for the Council of Tourism Ministers meeting through the Pacific Tourism Organization. A youth engagement initiative was a critical part of the program, giving young leaders a platform to exchange ideas, develop action plans, and contribute to sustainable tourism and national development. Your voices matter. Use your platform to educate, inspire, and create positive change. Be proud ambassadors of your countries as tourism destinations, sharing the beauty of your islands, the warmth of your people, and the richness of your cultures. Events like this strengthen people-to-people ties, encourage dialogue, and reinforce regional unity. They also contribute to cultural diplomacy, economic activity, tourism promotion, and international visibility for our nations. I commend the organizers, partners, sponsors, and volunteers. Your dedication demonstrates the power of collaboration between governments, the private sector, cultural institutions, and communities, showcasing our shared heritage to the world. To the contestants, the presence here reflects discipline, preparation, and commitment. Whether or not you receive a title tonight, you carry forward a responsibility to represent your people with integrity, use your voice constructively, and contribute positively to your communities. To the families and mentors here from Fiji and beyond, your strength has been the foundation for these intelligent young leaders. If it is transformed from this stage, let them remain a guiding light for our youth, carrying the spirit of our islands into tomorrow. To Ms. Litara Jeremiah Allen, as you prepare to pass the crown, we honor the grace of your leadership and the power of your advocacy, which have inspired a new generation across our islands. Tonight, a new ambassador will be crowned to continue the legacy of cultural pride, leadership, and online safety advocacy. The Pacific region is strongest when it stands together, guided by respect, cooperation, and shared commitments to peace and progress. The Miss Pacific Islands pageant is a reminder of the collective strength. It highlights the challenge, intelligence, resilience, and potential of Pacific women and reinforce the values that bind our region together. With Nagabagalevu, and may you have all a memorable evening. Naga.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may please give our chief guest another big round of applause. Nakabalevu, Deputy Prime Minister, for your inspiring address and for the Government of Fiji's gracious support of the Miss Pacific Islands Budget 2026. Your presence this evening means a great deal to our contestants, our committee, and to all of those who are gathered here and watching from across the Pacific.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now close our formal proceedings and move into the heart of this evening's program. Now, tonight marks the culmination of days of preparation, courage, and also sisterhood. Our contestants, you have noticed, have given everything. Their stories, their talents, their cultures, and also their voices. And tonight, they do so one final time.
But before the judging begins, we are honored to present a performance that celebrates the land, the culture, and the people of our host nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome the Kambu Kevamnoa Group with their performance, Namodua. one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Please put it together for our cultural group, Kabuge Banua, with their performance, Namanua. that, ladies and gentlemen? Can you give another round of applause? Once in a while, I promise you, you'll find Landerua with a lolly, and also seeing, as you say, the older generators moving us with song and music. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to introduce you to the group of people who have the enormous task of judging our 7 contestants. It's our panel of judges. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.